So I play Isabel, and Isabel is perhaps the only friend that Thomas particularly has at work. And you feel, certainly at the beginning, that she's kind of taking him under her wing a bit. And she's incredibly ambitious herself and wants to do really well in the company and has worked very hard to where she's got to. So she kind of imparts a bit of knowledge and appears to be kind of giving Thomas a bit of a helping hand. There's definitely sides to her. I think, she is her number one priority, obviously, but she at least does let Thomas in, and she's one of the only people that acknowledges that maybe what he thinks is happening. But we're still never sure how much of it's in his head and how much of it is in reality, just like these things often are in real life. Are they just making a joke, or is this something more sinister? Well, it's super intense. I think we're used to watching thrillers on TV that are cop dramas, crime dramas, and those are fantastic, but this is putting all of that tension into a totally different context that so many people can relate to, worked in an office, or been on either side of what you might call bullying. So it's a really intense thriller. There's moments of humour, there's moments of levity, but it kind of takes you on a real roller coaster, and it's definitely worth hanging on for the third episode because it all takes quite a different turn. It's a really good time for it to be on. I think people have there's a sense of fear of, people maybe losing their jobs, redundancies happening, businesses maybe not doing as well as they had been doing in the past. So when people are scared, they don't always behave in the best way. And I think maybe people can relate to that within the companies that they work in. But also we're talking about mental health and bullying much more openly now, and men's mental health particularly, which is, that idea of men being expected to man up is thankfully something that we're kind of resigning to the past. So yeah, I think it's a really good time to be talking about that and making that the subject of conversation around the coffee machine, something that we can all kind of relate to in some way. Yeah, there is a great moment where Thomas is kind of standing in the street in his pyjamas, and you kind of realise how he's got to this point. And I think we've all had that point in life where you just kind of feel like everything's slipping through your fingers and you're like, how did I get here? And so as an audience member, I think you'll really feel for him in that moment, but it's also kind of funny as well. And a lot of this show is about like, should I be laughing or not? And yeah, I hope that people will kind of find that interesting. I think it's one of a kind. I don't think we've seen a show like this before. And I think this is a subject that's so much part of everyone's life. Like whether it be at school or at work or in your family, everyone's been on the receiving end or witnessed bullying. And to be part of that character's like internal monologue and being able to see it from that perspective, and maybe being able to reframe situations that you're part of already in life, it's just a really kind of valuable piece of work, and it's also incredibly gripping and exciting. And I think people will be going away going, yeah, but when he said that, did you not think that? And trying to work out what's going to happen. It's never been a bribery thing. I've never spent large sums of money on anyone. Not saying I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. I once dropped a postcard, hand-delivered a postcard to a director who I really wanted to work with, telling him he should definitely give me the part because I'd be brilliant. Please give me the chance. It didn't work.